Hi guys, how's it going? I am Dave. Welcome to Blind Man Overland, and today we're going to talk about stuff and things.
What's up? Saturday, and normally I would be out camping, but I'm not, because today I am at Mission Overland and Mark is going to let me use his shop, and I'm going to put the 2-inch leveling kit on the Frontier today. Now, I don't have the extended U-bolts that I need for the rear. I don't think I'm going to need them for a 1-inch add leaf or for a 2-inch add leaf. I will be getting them. I just don't have anywhere to get them measured and cut today, and I want to put this on today. So replacing U-bolts after isn't really a big deal. It's just going to be popping them out and putting the new ones in, as long as they reach and fit, which I haven't checked yet. So basically we're going to be going here, checking in, pulling the truck in, getting it all set up, getting it off the ground, and then getting under there and look at it. We'll do the rears first, just in case, because I don't want to be sitting at a obtuse angle while I do it. So it'll be cool. Bye.
Okay, so slight issue, slight delay, nothing I wasn't kind of expecting. I'm going to need some U-bolts. I know everyone here is like, oh man, of course you need U-bolts. Oh, I know that. But I thought I would get lucky and have some U-bolts that I could disassemble, clean up, and reassemble, and just run the risk. Hey guys, how are you? Hope everyone's having a really great week so far. I just wanted to jump in here really quick and just kind of give you guys a little bit of a heads up. I'm doing a bit of a different video this time around. I know this isn't usually what I do on my channel. I don't usually do kind of these face-to-face videos, but I'm giving it a shot. I'm going to try something different, and I kind of want to go through with you guys how I plan my trips. When I plan my trips, I'm also very much a proponent of the just wing it. You know, just go outside and give it a shot and see what you can find and see what happens. But that being said, so usually when I'm talking to people, both online and kind of in public, when I kind of tell people I'm doing this social media thing and I do a lot of camping, so I put it out there for other people to see, and I get asked, like, so where do you go? Like, is there really that many places to camp? Like, what do you do? And the truth is, yeah, there is. There's quite a few places if you know where to go and what to do. And so today, that's kind of what we're going to go through. We're going to keep it super chill. I know I haven't done this before, so if you don't like this kind of video, let me know down in the comments there. If you're not already a member of our little squad, hit subscribe, and my phone's just gonna keep dinging, so I'm just gonna wing it. I'm just gonna keep going. But yeah, if you really like these videos, guys, I really want to encourage you to hit subscribe and like these videos. Kind of helps with the algorithm. I know you hear everybody say that, but I really do enjoy this. This is really fun. And the more people I can reach, then the cooler this is going to be, and the more people I'll get to interact in real life, and maybe have places that I can go to myself, and meet you guys in real life, and kind of do this whole community thing, because it's super cool. It's really fun. I don't do this part. I'm like the fancy skies and mountains guy. I don't. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, but this is kind of fun too. I don't normally do the gear review because so many people do the gear review, and there are so many awesome gear review channels out there. However, I am in Canada. I'm a crazy Canuck. Maybe I'm like a trendsetter, Canadian trendsetter. Probably not. But that being said, I'm going to be going through today this thing. So this is the Eagle Creek packet system, generally used for clothes. I'm going to be going through this with you guys here right now. What I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of shed a little bit of light today on how I'm able to kind of find places off-grid, and kind of share with you what that kind of looks like in regards to what I used to kind of find those places and to plan trips. You don't always have to plan trips, but if you are looking to plan one, and you want to kind of have a schedule or an agenda that you can share with your family so that people kind of know where to expect you, this is a really good way to do it. It's not expensive, and it's old technology. So it's not GPS, it's just good old-fashioned navigation. So what I do is I use an Eagle Creek packet system. This is just a simple little bag, folding bag. I believe it's actually intentionally supposed to be used for clothes. But I found it hold my map books really, really easily with some room to spare. So as I'm traveling around, and as I start venturing down to the south into the United States and exploring around there, I'll be able to add to this collection, and I'll always have some maps. So I'm just going to share with you guys exactly how this works. So it is, like I said, it's the Eagle Creek packet system. It's a really, really simple system. It just opens up, unvelcros on 4 sides. And inside you can store your maps or your books in my case. Now it does also come with this really, really cool packet folder. And it's like it acts as a little bit of a hard backing for the top of your clothes to kind of give them a nice compacted feel when it's closed up. And then it also helps you fold your clothing. It's designed to basically just help you fold your clothing so they all fit exactly in this bag. So it's really, really cool. I believe I got this, oh man, I think I got this at Atmosphere. Atmosphere, yeah, it's Atmosphere in Red Deer, and I believe it was only $10. So this isn't an expensive bag, and I suppose you can use it for clothes, but I use it for my maps. And what I use for maps is these two things right here. Just going to make sure they're in the frame. Yes, they are. So these are my BR&B map books. It's just a backroad map book. Backroad map books. And I've got both for southern Alberta and northern Alberta. I'm sure these are made for also British Columbia, and the one for British Columbia is probably going to be thicker. The one I have for southern Alberta is the 4th edition, so it's the most revised one, and the one I have for northern Alberta is the 3rd edition. So this one's older. I have used it for work quite a bit because I did spend the majority of my last decade of working in some pretty remote areas in northern Alberta, up near the Jasper area. And well into Pink Mountain and the southern tip of the Yukon as well. So I'm fairly familiar with the back roads around there as far as the main ones go, and a lot of the smaller ones will branch off the various mining and trunk roads in northern Alberta. And the southern Alberta one, oddly enough, I don't have much experience in actually traveling the back roads. As I said, most of my working and kind of adventuring, as further than Bighorn country anyway goes, is spent in northern Alberta. Southern Alberta, there's a lot of national parks. There's the Banff National Park. There's further into there's the Yoho Provincial Park, and then there's a whole bunch of other ones that you go down through, down the Crow's Nest Pass area as well, down near Frank Slide. And I do know there is some awesome wheeling down there, so I really, really do want to get down there soon. And if any of you are from Southern Alberta, and you guys do trips in the area, please let me know, because I'm virtually always ready to go. My truck is, I guess what you could call is bug out ready. It's 100% rigged up in its minimalist configuration as possible, so I am always 100% ready for a weekend trip at all times. So just reach out to me and let me know, either on here or on Instagram. But back into the books. So there's Southern Alberta and Northern Alberta. The reason these books are so awesome is, one, it's laid out extremely well. Now it's almost laid out like a magazine, and it reads like a magazine, and it's even got some ads like a magazine. So it's actually quite entertaining to read, and it makes the whole experience of planning a trip actually kind of like an adventure. It's absolutely incredibly well done. It's a fantastic book, and I will endorse these guys forever, because it really is a really awesome tool. But it gives you topographical maps, a service directory, so if you want to find accommodations, tours, guides, sales services. Sometimes they also even have ideas on where you can find local artisans, so local pottery places or stuff like that. And then they've also got an adventure section. So the adventures are trip planning, backroad, fishing, hunting, paddling, park areas, trails, multi-use, as well as ATV trails, snowmobile trails, wildlife viewing, and winter accessible areas. So it gives you a ton of little subgenres that you can kind of plan your trips around. And then as far as the back roads go, many of these back roads are going to be on what we call in Alberta Crown land, which is federally owned land that is, by law, accessible to the public. Now, there's some arguments as to what some people deem as accessible and some people don't deem as accessible. If I had it my way, as long as there was no industrial leases to the properties, it should be fair game. We should be able to go where we want, when we want, as long as we do so respectively. Anyway, and it also gives you like designated ATV trails. So in Alberta, we make the distinction between ATVs and on highway vehicles. And then as you kind of go in there, it gives you tips and tricks, legends, scale bars. It's going to break down their area classifications as well as the various legends that you're going to want to familiarize yourself with the book. And then it also gives you a full rundown on how to use the book, how to plan. It even has a little cool section on how to read a topographical map if you don't know how to do that. We can probably do a video on that if that's something you guys would be interested in. Anyway, so in here we've got Fort McMurray Parks and Trails. Fort McMurray, of course, is probably on the front, or at least used to be on the front of every newspaper in the world on the stock exchange. But yeah, so we'll start up there. So, it goes through northern Alberta, and it's broken down into sections. So if you guys can kind of picture a giant map, it's like they took a big picture of that and cut it up into squares and just put those squares in the book. So if you're looking at the book, it's, British Columbia's to your left and Saskatchewan is going to be on your right. So north is always going to be facing the book. So it's really, really easy to find. You've got your Cutbank River, you got your two lakes areas that you're in, Simonette River area, the Lauderdale, Virginia Hills, Fox Creek, all these various areas, and it's going to give you all the topographical information on these. So anytime I am planning a road trip, a back roads trip, whether it be something where I'm trying to find an old road that used to exist that might not exist anymore, or just kind of going through the back. There's a lot of really cool places that I have found just driving down rural gravel roads. A lot of the areas that you can go to, they're not even they're not even mapped. They have road addresses maybe, which means that they're open roads, but they're not accessible on GPS, so they probably aren't traveled very often. And on one of my YouTube videos, you'll actually see, I think it's the title is Overlanding with Dinosaurs. That area is Crown land, so it's accessible to the people by the for exactly what we used it for. Although it's in a very sensitive area, so it's really important that you pack in what you pack out. On that specific video, you'll see that we were running a propane fire pit, rather than having a fire on the land because that land is so old. But that's an example of being able of finding somewhere when you're just out exploring. Like, you got your maps, but you're just gonna go. You're just gonna go be surprised by what you find, and that's sometimes some of the things that you can find. If you haven't watched that video, I really suggest you go watch it because the landscape is actually absolutely beautiful. But yeah, so this is basically what's going to allow me to plan my trips, and it goes into really good detail into what you're going to be looking for. All your rivers, your lakes, even unnamed lakes, they're all kind of here. And anywhere there's a point of interest, they kind of give you an idea of what you're going to be looking at. So there's some camping, some sightseeing, some angling, and some picnic areas up here, in the Bonanza area. And then as we move into the book, which is where this book kind of shines a little bit, is you move through the maps and you kind of get to this service directory. So if you're the kind of person that really wants to support local businesses, and you're traveling around and you really want to kind of experience a little bit of the culture, this book is going to give you some of those outdoorsy types place where you can find things that you might find interesting in these local communities. So, the Grand Prairie Regional Tourism Board, Parsons Lake Outfitters, it's got little pages for trip planning notes, and then we get into the adventure section. So the adventure section is very cool. It's filled with really nice photography, and a whole bunch of backroad adventures. So we got a Lac La Biche Mission National Historic Site, and a whole write-out of kinds of the things that you'd be able to do and where they are. And they also give a reference of where on the map they will be. So if you're doing a trip through Alberta and you want to experience some of this stuff, you know exactly where to find each of these things and when to do them. So when you're mapping it out, when you're kind of figuring out, well, how can I get from this town to this town using only back roads and service roads and forestry trunk roads and stuff, this book is going to help you find the roads. First of all, it's going to help you find where to go, where to turn, and everything. And it's live on paper. So you'll always be able to find your way in. You'll know exactly where you are, so you can tell people exactly what's going on. And then 2, it allows you to basically copy and paste what you want to do in those towns. So as you're coming up to it, you want to stop at a certain restaurant and then go do the Lesser Slave Lake Bird Observatory or whatever. It's just such a really good book. And so this is basically what I use when I'm planning my trips. I'll kind of have a general idea of where I want to go, and what I want to see, and also what kind of trip is it going to be. Generally in the wintertime, my backcountry trips are kind of reserved to, backcountry travel and some bushcraft skills, I guess, some really rudimentary bushcraft skills, and just generally being out in nature and enjoying the peace. And then during the summer, that's when I like to work on my specific, skills, like a certain off-road driving, or when I want to test out certain gear. And it's also just more comfortable. So I like to go into more remote areas during the summer and spring and fall months because they're just easily accessible or easier accessible. In the winter, you really do have to be careful where you go with snow. And if you guys follow my channel or my pictures, you're going to notice that my truck doesn't have a high clearance bumper or even a winch at this time. So I do have to be very careful about where I go because I can't self-recover and I'm generally solo. So anyway, I really hope this was informative for you guys. If you want to know where you can find these books, they are almost everywhere. You can pick them up at Canadian Tire. You can pick them up at Atmosphere. I believe Valhalla Pure Outfitters also carries them. And even some of the larger gas stations and service stations along the highway will have some of these, specifically up in the northern Alberta section, where these are typically used for work. And so you'll also obviously note that with the northern Alberta one, it does include oil and gas data, so pipelines, facilities, township grids, oil and gas roads, and more. And a lot of the camping that I do up in this area is old service for oil and gas roads, old abandoned leases and whatnot, that have been closed down and are back to Crown land. And then, like I said, but down in the southern area, usually I camp in actual campgrounds because in my experience, I'm not familiar with the area enough to know where specifically you can camp. And I tend to err on the side of if you don't know, don't go kind of thing. I do a lot of research before I go on a specific targeted area as to whether or not I can camp there. And I did do that with the old, the camping in the Badlands there. I made 100% sure, unequivocal, that we were on Crown land. And it just gives me a really good sense of, comfort when I'm sleeping, that I'm not on private property and nothing's going to happen. So anyway, thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you want more videos like this, where I kind of go through trip planning and the tools of the trade, I guess, as you could say, that goes into it, for back road travel and truck camping and stuff like that. So thanks so much guys for tuning in. I love you all. I like these. These are fun. These little video things this is a vlog. Like this is probably what they call like a proper vlog. Yeah. Eagle Creek. This is gonna be like one of those YouTube thumbnails. Buy this junk because I support it. Don't buy it. No, buy this junk. This isn't junk. That is awesome. I did my hair today. I got my hair did today. Got it did, as the girls say. Got my hair did. Went to the store and brought some sexy back. I haven't done one of these videos before, so if you guys don't like this, I keep not looking at the lens. I need to look at the lens. If you don't like these kinds of videos, let me know down. Put it down in the comments like everybody else tells you to do. Yada yada, stereotypical YouTube stuff. But yeah, let me know what you guys like and what you don't like. I like GPS. I really do. It's a really cool system, but it's one more thing you have to charge, and it's one more thing you have to carry batteries for. And as much as I love truck camping and backroad camping, I'm a backpacker, and the less I carry, probably the better. It's just less you carry, the better. Yeah, thanks for being here.